You know for a fact when the New England Patriots hired Mike Vrabel, they were hiring a guy who had a great vision of what he wanted the New England Patriots to look like. And not only that, but the change it was going to need to become that vision. And ladies and gentlemen, one thing Mike Vrabel's doing is changing, hasn't been changed in a quarter of a century. So let's jump into it. You guys know my name is Aaron. On the daily, talking Patriots football for people just like you who can't get enough Patriots football. And it has meant the world to me that the subs have just been skyrocketing lately. So do me a favor, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. As well, hit the like button. That always helps me out. And comment below. So today what we're going to talk about, that massive change. As well, we're going to jump into a little bit of free agency at the end and some potential pickups for the Patriots and what that might mean. So let's jump in. First and foremost, that change is coming on the defensive end. When we look on the defensive end, the scheme that the Patriots ran in the Belichick era, essentially since 2000, has been a 3-3-5 nickel. So when it comes down to it, you look at Mike Vrabel, you look at Terrell Williams coaching in Tennessee. They really ran more of a even front, a 4-2-5 nickel. So when we look at an even front, a lot more opportunities for stunts up on the defensive line. And what's interesting as well is when you look at the defensive line in the Belichick era, I guess technically you had Mayo in there for a year, but during that tenure for those coaches, again, awkward to say, he was the coach. It is what it is. But during that time, they ran more of a two-gap read. So essentially, these defensive linemen were going to be reading the offense and being able to make split-second decisions on what gap they were going to do or what stunt was going to be made or whatever it might be. Now, Vrabel and Williams' defense is more set up for a one-gap scheme. Now, you might be wondering, what in the world are you talking about? Now, let's break it down real quick. So, on the offensive side of the ball, it really all depends on the team, how they look at gaps. Some people number them. It all depends. Now, when you look at it, the top numbers, where they're the 5's blue, the 4's red, the 4I, so that means inner, so the inner shoulder of the tackle, inner shoulder of the guard, the 2-1, or the 2I, my fault. So for instance, a nose guard would be in a zero technique. So he's lined up right across. And then you go to the 1s, which is that gap between the center and guard. And then that inside shoulder of the guards is the 2I. Head up with the guard is the 2. And then you go to the 3 and so on and so forth. Now, Vrabel and Williams' defense is going to be set up where, imagine having someone set up on the 3, just on that one gap right there. So he's not head up where he's able to essentially potentially go, hey, I'm either going to take the 1 gap or the 3 gap, or try to switch something up like that. As well, imagine someone being on the 1. So it all depends on how they overload the line or how they go under, over, whatever it might be. But as well, too, if you watch any film from Vrabel when he was in Tennessee, he had a lot of times where he had people in a 9 tech, so a 9 technique. You look at the 7 all the way over on the other side of the, so it would be on your right, on my right at least. I believe it's on your right. And so anyways, you look at that. And even wider than that is that 9. Now, that's a lot of trouble. So a lot of times they're going to motion someone in there to help block just because it's awkward, especially if you overwhelm someone. But notice, pretend that this 7 is in a 9 technique or even just a 7 technique. And then you have a 3, a 1. But let's say you stack that side. So you got a 7, 5, and a 3. And then the 3 and the 5 gaps, they go in. The 7 loops around and comes in the 1 gap or behind the 3 gap, and that is disaster. So that's just a very simple stunt when it comes to the defensive line. Now, when you look, I enjoy for an even front more than an odd front. I understand that a lot more from growing up playing football. That's something that makes more sense to me. I have not done a lot of odd fronts, and so I enjoy seeing something where Vrabel's like, this is something I'm familiar with, I've been successful with, so this is what we're going to go with. I enjoy it. What do you guys think? Comment below. Would love to hear from you guys. Next up, We look at Ronnie Stanley. Guys, my wife's on a work trip. I'm tired. Putting 3 kids to bed. Cut me a little slack today. I'm tired. But that being said, Ronnie Stanley set up to be a free agent. We know he's 31 years old. He's battled some injuries back in early 2020s. There we go. I'm struggling again. But that being said, is this a player that you would want the Patriots to go after and throw a boatload of cash at? Now, we have to remember, when it comes down to it, I'm not going to tell you that the New England Patriots can absolutely go get any player they want, because that's not the case. When you're an unrestricted free agent, you're able to make moves that you personally want to make, whether that's for monetary gain, whether that's for you want to go somewhere and potentially have a chance at winning the Super Bowl, whatever it might be. When it comes down to it, the Patriots can go out there, and if it's someone who's like, I want to get paid, they in all reality, they can get whoever they want. But it's the strategy behind it and being able to look at the holistic picture of, okay, well, if we throw the boat at someone like Stanley, what else are we going to be able to get? And how else are we going to be able to fortify this offense and help out the defense where it's needed? So again, yes, there might be a ton of cap space, but the question is, who are the type of free agents that they're going to be willing to throw money at? What do you guys think? Comment below. Who are you like, these people are coming out, I'm willing to throw that type of money, top tier money at these guys. Again, Stanley, at the age of 31, the question is, well, how long is that contract going to be? A lot of people would say he's past his prime, especially after his injury. So that is just one instant. What else do you guys think? Again, if there's free agents out there that are like, listen, show me the money. I know a lot of people have loved T. Higgins. T. Higgins is a big name out there, a guy that wants to be a number 1 wide receiver, though he has said, hey, I want to stay with Joe Burrow. I want to stay with Jamar Chase. Look at the situation I'm in. Sure. But deep down, I'm sure that money talks, and not only money talks, but the opportunity to be the guy would be huge for someone like him. So again, comment below. Tell me what you think about that. Last but not least, we're going to jump into, this is just super quick, but DeMarcus Covington was hired by the Green Bay Packers, not as a defensive coordinator, but a defensive line coach. So again, someone just able to go out there, and there goes my screen. Someone who goes out there and is able to find another gig. Good for him. Especially that situation, the more you kind of look at it in hindsight, you're just like, man, they were all kind of, in a way, set up, I don't want to say not to succeed, but that was tough. It was an asking a lot from him. So good for him. Again, I hate the Packers. So again, I mean, I wish him the best, but not the Packers the best. So that being said, you guys know, my name's Aaron. We talk Patriots on the daily. Give me a little grace today. Getting 3 kids down to bed. Tired as a dog. Hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. We'll talk later. Peace.